What's up out there to all of my fellow gold diggers? This is your girl Rita, also known as the self-proclaimed gold digger. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. I am so glad to have you. But if you are a fellow gold digger, welcome back. Y'all know I love and I appreciate each and every one of you. And it is time for Tipsy Tuesday. Tonight we are talking about being a wantrepreneur versus an entrepreneur, okay? And seeing, is entrepreneurship, is this what you really want to get into? Especially if you have been considering starting your own business, starting your own side hustles, because y'all know I love talking about side hustles, okay? Before we get into it though, let me go ahead and check my social media accounts to make sure we are good on all ends, and then we are going to get into the video for tonight. So we're good there. And let me check one other place. I hope y'all have been having a great week and that things are going well. I know for me it has. So let's see. Okay, so we are good there as well. All right, so I don't really have any church announcements today, so we're going to get right into stuff, and hopefully we will not be on here long because I have about 5 or 6, I don't know. Okay, I added to it. Some more tips for y'all. So about 8 tips I see that I have for y'all tonight, okay? But if you are new to Tipsy Tuesday, basically what we do is we take some sips as I share some tips. Tonight I have some tea that I am sipping on, and I do have some good tea to be spilling to y'all about entrepreneurship and this interesting road towards entrepreneurship, okay? And we usually have a Tipsy Tuesday song. Y'all, honestly, right now, I can't even think of it off the top of my head because I haven't done it in a while. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get into it. Now, entrepreneurship is a very hot topic, trendy topic, sexy topic. And y'all know I am a big advocate for you to have a side hustle. Last Tipsy Tuesday, we talked about some tips or skills that you need to have, things that you need to do if you want to start your side hustle. And then I followed up with it on Side Hustle Saturday with some more tips. So please be sure to check out those videos as well. To see what you need to do when it comes to entrepreneurship. But in those videos, I talk to you. The reason why I'm an advocate for a side hustle is because I tell you all the time, one source of income is too close to zero. So you should always have some kind of backup plan, some kind of way that you are generating some extra income, especially the way the climate is today. But if you need money immediately, in those previous videos, I talked about the type of side hustle you should have versus a side hustle that is more so geared towards entrepreneurship. So a true entrepreneurship type side hustle is where you are pretty much the one who is generating your clients, generating your customers and stuff like that. And that's what this video is going to pertain to see, do you have what it takes to really be that type of entrepreneur, to create that kind of side hustle? Because a lot of us want it, but just because you want something, that doesn't mean that you are equipped to be able to receive it. So I'm going to share with you some skills that you should possess, as well as some character traits that you should have in order to be an entrepreneur, and not just any entrepreneur, in order to be a successful entrepreneur. Now, I titled the video, "Are you a wantrepreneur or versus the entrepreneur?" Because we all have known some folk, and we might even be those folks who are the wantrepreneur. And what do I mean by that? Have you ever talked to somebody and they be like, well, I wanted to do this, but, or I was going to do this, but, like everything they say is like, it's a but followed up with it. Like the reason why they couldn't do this, the reason why they weren't successful, the reason why they didn't get this job, the reason why they weren't able to get this house, the reason, whatever it is, it's always a but to it or some other reason. And when it comes to a entrepreneur, usually they be like, I want to start my own business, but I want to create a new side hustle, but, so there is a but to it. And really, the but is just an excuse, y'all. So it's an excuse that is holding you back, that is preventing you from getting started in it. And excuses do not serve anyone, okay? If you're waiting for the right time to start your business, to start your side hustle, guess what? I have news for you. There is never going to be a right time, okay? There's just not going to be a right time. If you feel like you're going to have, you got to get all the things in a row, have everything in order, have all these different things in place before you start your side hustle or start your new business, it's not going to be that way. I promise you, everything is not going to be lined up. And even if you do, for some rare occasion, get everything lined up, I can guarantee something is going to occur, something is going to happen that is going to throw you off course, and then you're going to have to redirect or reroute yourself to continue on in your business. Okay. So there's never going to be a perfect time. There's never going to be like perfect situations. Now you can try and get ideal situations or situations that are a little bit more suitable, but the perfect situation or the right time, that is probably not going to happen. And as I have learned as an entrepreneurship, you really have to roll with the punches, because things be coming at you hard and fast, and you have to be able to adapt, and you have to be able to adapt quickly. Now, I'm typically the type of person, like growing up, I did not like change. Like, I don't like change. I still don't really like, I'm gonna say I'm a creature of habit. I do like having some routine. But when I got introduced to entrepreneurship, like that first year, it was rough for me, because I'm not the type of person who I just don't like change. I need things to be a certain way. But by year 2, when something didn't happen or didn't go right, I won't say I didn't care, but it was like I just rolled with the punches. It's like, okay, this is what we're dealing with right now. What do we need to do to continue on? What do we need to do to remedy this problem? What is the solution? Okay. I can't be harping about, well, it was supposed to go X, Y, and Z when it didn't, when it went A, B, and C. Okay. Now that it's going A, B, and C, what do I need to do to keep it moving? Okay. So as an entrepreneur, you have to be adaptable and you have to be flexible. Now, those weren't even the tips that I was going to share with you, but all this ties in. Now, you also, one of the biggest things, if you are starting a side hustle where you are attracting the clients, or you are interested in being an entrepreneur or starting your own business, I've talked about this in the other side hustle videos as well, is that you have to shift your mindset. You have to have a mindset shift. And in those videos, I talked about shifting your mindset when it came to like marketing and being able to attract your clients and stuff, and shifting from having an employee mindset to having an employer mindset, or a mindset of someone who is an entrepreneur or a CEO. Now, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into that, because the mindset you need to have, it has to be like, you just have to have crazy faith and crazy belief in your idea as well as in yourself. Like, if other people tell you no, you have to have enough belief within yourself that you believe that you are going to be successful no matter what. Like, this is going to happen. So you got to be a little bit delusional. Okay. So a lot of entrepreneurs, yes, we are delulu. Okay. We have such high confidence and high belief in ourselves and high faith in what we're doing and what we're pursuing, that if someone told us that it wasn't going to happen, we just not gonna believe them, because we have so much faith in ourselves that we like, you must not have met me. You must not know me. I'm going to be able to get it done. Now, that's not to say don't have unrealistic expectations, okay? But you do have to have a crazy mindset when it comes to that. You got to be willing to risk it all. And what do I mean by willing to risk it all? What I'm talking about, you need to be willing to risk it all when it comes to putting your money on the line, when it comes to people walking away from you and not believing in you. Like, you have to believe in yourself or believe in the product or the service that you are providing that much that, hey, if everything went south, I still believe that I will succeed. Like, you hear these success stories of, I'm going to use, for example, Steve Harvey, Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry is a great one. So y'all know the story of Tyler Perry. If you haven't, I mean, he has a documentary out as well. But you know, Tyler Perry was homeless. Even Steve Harvey, they were homeless, but they were homeless and they were pursuing their dream. That's what I mean. Like, you have to be crazy and willing to risk everything. Be willing to risk it all. Now, y'all, I ain't necessarily willing to be homeless and everything, because I got a family and everything. But you just have to have that kind of level of belief in yourself that you're willing to sacrifice whatever it is in order to succeed. And you're betting on yourself so much that you're sure that it will pay off. And just like with them, it paid off. Like, look at Tyler Perry. He's producing movies, TVs, like people are coming to him. He has his own studio, all of that stuff. But he was willing to bet on himself. He didn't give up. Look at where he started and look at where he is now. Like, his story is just so amazing and so phenomenal. Same thing for Steve Harvey. But a lot of celebrities, a lot of people who are successful, they had similar stories. And it's because they had similar beliefs in themselves. They believed in themselves enough that they were willing to sacrifice and do whatever it took in order for them to make it, and in order for them to be successful. And then let me see. I'm looking at my notes so I can stay on track. Yeah, so I'm on track. So I haven't even gotten into, well, the first tip was having the right mindset, having that crazy mindset. And then we're going to get into the second one. And I'm speaking about this firsthand because I will share with you guys. I've shared with y'all that I have my own optometry office, but it was a rough ride getting that office open. And I have shared this with you guys on my channel before. Like, I probably was planning to open this office, like the dream for it probably started at least a year and a half, maybe 2 years in it. And when I say the dream for it, I had a dream for it probably ever since I was in college. But like, when I actually started executing on the dream, it was probably like a year and a half to 2 years in the making. You want to know why? Why it took so long? Is because I kept getting told no at every turn. No, I couldn't get funding in order to start my business, like to get a loan in order to start up. So I was told no. So then that caused like a 6-month delay. There were things I had to do, or hoops and hurdles that I had to jump through in order to get funding. Then once I finally get funding, there were issues with me finding a building or finding a space. So it seemed like every corner I would turn, there was a no. There was an obstacle in the way that was preventing me from getting to my dream. But I knew this is what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to pursue. And I did not let the no's stop me. Another no that I had when it came to my business, which I won't say I acted upon, but I wish I had done a little bit differently, is, so my office, it mainly specializes in seeing kids. That's what I wanted my office to be about. I wanted to specialize in seeing kids, and I just wanted to do what's called vision therapy, which I always say is like physical therapy, except it's with the eyes. So we're focusing on developing visual skills for kids who struggle with reading, writing, have an eye turn, that kind of thing. So that was going to be my main focus. Y'all, I did not want to sell glasses. I was like, I don't want to sell glasses. I said, if I sell glasses, I just want to sell kids glasses, and that's it, because I just want to specialize in seeing kids. Okay, that has always been my initial goal. I want to focus on the kids, seeing the little ones, and doing vision therapy. Now, I had a consultant. Actually, I had 2 consultants. The first consultant I got rid of, but both of the consultants, they were saying, you need to have glasses in the office, and you need to have glasses for everybody, for children, men, and women. And they were like, usually you just have a small selection for children. And I was like, no, I want my specialty to be children, so I need to have a large selection of glasses for children or whatever. And I was like, I really don't want to have glasses for adults or anything like that. But they were like, in the beginning stages of your business, you're going to need to be able to sell these glasses, and you're going to need to have glasses for adults in order for your business to be successful. So finally I caved in. I was like, fine, whatever. And they were like, you're going to need to see more than just kids. You're going to need to see everybody. Okay. So I caved in on that part. I ended up getting glasses. Like I said, I didn't even want an optical section at all. So I ended up getting glasses and everything. Still to this day, I really don't like having the optical unless it's serving the kids or whatever. So I gave into the consultants when it came to that aspect of my business. But let me tell you, this is how good God is, okay? God is so good. Like the scripture says, your gift will make room for you. So in spite of that, I am still mainly known for seeing kids. So much so that other offices in the area will refer their patients to me, will send kids to me. Like, we get I won't say referrals. Some of them are referrals, but some of them are just recommendations where the other office does not want to see them. So they just send them down the road to us. And they were like, Dr. Brown will see him because Dr. Brown. So this is what I mean by your gift will make room for you. Okay. Your gift makes room for you. So now I'm known as the doctor who sees all the kids or whatever, which is what I wanted to be known for in the beginning and have that specialty. But the consultants tried to tell me, no, you need to see everybody in order to be successful in your business. But they must not have met my God, because my God knows the desires of my heart, and he's going to give me the desires of my heart. So that's what I mean. When it comes to entrepreneurship, you have to be so passionate and you have to be so committed to that idea and that goal that you are trying to achieve, that even when people tell you no, you still have to stay the course and you still have to pursue it. Okay. That's what I mean by that. All right. Now let's get some more into these tips and everything. And let's see, I have a comment. This is from my hubby. He says, push through the struggle. Yes, you have to be able to push through the struggle as an entrepreneur. If not, the road is already going to be rough, but it's in spite of that, you still have to keep going and keep believing in yourself. So you have to make that, number one, make that mindset shift. Two, you have to have that crazy belief in yourself and be willing to risk it all. Now, the other thing you have to be willing to risk it all when it comes to entrepreneurship and trying to decide, are you a wantrepreneur or an entrepreneur, is you have to be willing to risk it all when it comes to money. Like, save your coins. Save your coins if you want to start a business. Now, and if you are that committed to your business, are you willing to risk your life savings or your savings in order to see it succeed? And I know I'm speaking from my own experience. Same thing happened to me. I had saved up money for my business, thought I had saved enough. And this is why I say it's never going to be a right time, because it's never going to be a right time. And there's never going to be enough money that you saved. So many obstacles that I encountered. I've shared this story too with you guys before. Even I told y'all I couldn't at first get the funding to open up the business. Then I had a hard time trying to find a location and find a space. And then once I got found the space and everything, I had some shady, let me not cuss. I had some shady contractors who did not know what they were doing, that caused my business to be delayed when it came to opening. So I have this building and I can't even see patients or see clients because the space is not finished. We don't have permitting from the county. And all the while, I've already hired my staff. So I have these people coming into a building where there's no patients that we're seeing for 6 weeks. It was 6 weeks. before we saw our first patient and were able to be operational. Guess what? I had to pay those people during those 6 weeks. Now, knowing what I know now, I probably would have did something a little bit different. But for 6 weeks, I had to pay people and just try and find stuff for them to do because we really couldn't, we really couldn't do nothing. And they had, they had a life, they had families, they were relying on this particular job to supply their income. So, I'm not going to leave people out there hanging. So, yes. So, I had to use my savings because there was nothing coming into the business because I could not see anybody. So are you willing to risk your savings? Are you willing to risk your life investments or your savings investments in order to see this business come to fruition, in order to see this business succeed? Like, are you willing to put it on the line? You got to answer those questions for yourself. If you're like, and this is why I say entrepreneurship is not for everybody. Now, like I said, I recommend a side hustle for everybody. Everybody should have a side hustle. Look at the other 2 videos I did where I talk about the different types of side hustles you can have. There's 2 big differences when it comes to side hustles. The true side hustles where you are an entrepreneur. This is the one we are talking about tonight. This is the one that requires the most sacrifice. This is the one that requires the most investment when it comes to your time and your money. So are you willing to do that? And that's probably why some people are making excuses and being entrepreneurs because they know they don't have the commitment. But if that's the case, just be honest with yourself because everybody is not built for this. And there's nothing wrong with working for someone else or working a regular job, okay? But, are you willing to sacrifice your money when it comes to this business? The other thing that you need to do or need to decide, are you willing to make the time investment, and are you going to be able to manage your time? Okay. Because everybody glorifies entrepreneurship. Like, I can work whenever I want. I set my own schedule. And yes, that may be the case, but definitely in the beginning, that is not the case. And even if you set your own schedule in the beginning, chances are, what does May says, work is working, baby. When I'm working, I get paid. If you ain't working, you ain't getting paid. Okay. So if you're not seeing people, yes, you might set your own schedule, but if you're only working a few hours out of the whole week or something, then you're not getting paid. So you can set your own schedule if you want to, but just like when you're not on the schedule at work, they don't unless you salary, they don't pay you for that time. Okay. So you can set your own schedule, but I feel like that is a big myth because usually as an entrepreneur, you are working a lot more than when you're in a regular job. Like, I feel like I never stop working, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just no matter what I'm doing, whether I'm watching TV, listening to a podcast, or reading a book or whatever, my mind is always in like entrepreneur mode. And I'm always trying to glean, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from what I'm experiencing? And how can I apply this to my business? So like, even when I'm watching TV, I'll look at the commercials and I'll look at how they are marketing to people and how they are messaging to people. Even when I'm scrolling on social media and stuff like that, I'm looking at the ads and paying attention to when the ads come in and the designs of the ads, all that kind of stuff. My mind is always on that kind of thing to see what can I take from this and how can I apply this to my business. So even though I'm not maybe actively working in my business, I'm always passively working or passively thinking about my business and trying to see what skills, what techniques can I apply to the business so that I can become better, so that we can succeed and generate, more income and more profit. Okay. So there's definitely a time investment, and you coming up with creating something, you definitely are spending more time. Like, even with my business, with my office, I had to create everything in that business. Everything you see from the moment you walk in the door, those are my ideas. That is my creation. The color scheme, the way the layout of it, the setup of it, the design of my logo, all of that are my ideas that got transpired. The whole process, how you get checked in and worked up and all that kind of stuff. I had to come up with all of those systems. I had to create all of those things in order for my business to succeed. And those aren't things that you can do overnight. Those aren't things that you can do, pretty quickly. It takes time. And then once you get it down, you just kind of fine tune it along the way. But you spend a lot of time developing stuff, creating stuff in your business, and you see your ideas literally come to life. And that's what it means to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs bring their ideas to life. Entrepreneurs, they have a lot of ideas, and there's nothing wrong with having a lot of ideas, because I also have a lot of ideas too. But every idea I have, I can't bring to life. But a entrepreneur, they'll just stay in idea mode and not bring their ideas to life, because one, they're not executing on their ideas. So if you do have an idea for a business, if you do have an idea for a side hustle, and you are committed, then you need to execute on it. It's a beautiful thing when you see your ideas, things that you created in your head, come to life and other people experience your ideas. But you have to make that commitment and stop just talking about it and be about it. But going back to time, and that's what going back to the time, you're investing a lot of your time because you are creating so many different things, or you're thinking about so many different aspects of your business. So are you willing to work on parts of your business during those times? Are you willing to work 16 hours, maybe working on your business, even though only 8 of those hours is like customer facing, where you're actually interacting with your customers? And also, are you willing to work on your business when there's nobody telling you when to come in? Like, nobody is creating a schedule for you like your job does. Nobody is saying, your job says, okay, you got to work from 8 to 4, or you got to work from 9 to 5. Are you willing to say, okay, I got to work on my business from 3 to 7 and get this stuff done? Are you willing to do that? Some of y'all ain't even willing to work when somebody tell you to come to work. Y'all come to work and don't even do the work. So are you willing to work when there's no one telling you when to clock in, when to clock out? That is the time investment. That's the time commitment you have to have. And there's nobody over your shoulder. So there's no boss seeing, oh, did so-and-so come to work on time? Oh, so-and-so dipped out early. Because you're the only one checking yourself, okay? You're the one checking yourself to say, hey, and you're the one holding yourself accountable to say, hey, I put the work in. I did what I was supposed to do. I worked on my business during the times I said that I was going to work, and I didn't slack off. I wasn't on social media. I wasn't watching TV. I wasn't just scrolling. I wasn't talking on the phone. I was actually doing and taking actionable steps for my business to succeed. So can you make that time investment when there's nobody over your shoulder? When there's nobody, there's no manager, you're the only one accountable for you. Can you do that? That is what it means to be an entrepreneur. You have to have so much self-discipline, self-awareness, in order to get things done. There's no room for being lazy. There's literally no room for being lazy. If you're lazy, all it means is you're going to get some lazy money and not really make any money. So you must have good time management, and you must be willing to invest your time. Okay. The next thing I have, and let me see how I'm doing on time, y'all. All right, let me hurry up because I'm talking too long. This is supposed to be a short video. As an entrepreneur, the fourth thing I have is you need to focus on the problem. Okay. Entrepreneurs, we solve problems. And if it's a big enough problem and you have a great solution for it, then you're going to have a successful business. Okay. So focus on the problem and find a solution for it. Now, too many people stop there and just focus on the problem and start complaining about the problem and start talking about the problem. But entrepreneurs find solutions for the problem. And not only do we find solutions, we find great solutions for the problem because it fills the need. So we are problem solvers. Are you a problem solver? This is what I hate. This is what I can't stand. And I tell my employees this, like, I want them to be proactive and not reactive. I need them to take initiative and help solve problems on their own. I can't stand, and y'all have probably worked with somebody like this. Like as soon as something happens, like maybe something goes wrong in the business, somebody come running to you to come fix the problem. And it's like, did you even try and fix it yourself? Like, did you do this and that? Like if my employees come to me with a problem, they can't just say, hey, Dr. Brown, I need you to this broke and I need you to fix it or whatever. I need them to tell me, what did you try to do to solve the problem first? Like what did you try to do? If they don't tell me that, then I'm like, well, don't come to me. You better try these things first. And then once you've exhausted these options, then come to me and say, hey, Dr. Brown, this happened and I tried to do this. I tried to troubleshoot with that. And then that didn't work. So I did this and whatever. So what would you like for me to do now? Don't just come to me with no problem. Come to me with the problem and the way you tried to solve it. And then if the way you tried to solve it didn't work, then I'm willing to help you solve the problem. But just don't come to me with a bunch of problems, because I'm like, that ain't, no. Figure it out. Figure it out. And when you can't figure it out, then we can try and figure it out together. But don't just look to me to be helping you do your job. And I got to do my job too. I can't run to nobody when I can't figure out the problem or whatever, or figure out the answer. So I need them to be problem solvers as well and to think like that. And that all goes back to my very, very first point that I made. As an entrepreneur, you have to make a mindset shift. You have to start thinking about things differently, and not just one thing, not just two things. You have to start thinking about everything differently. If there is a problem in your business, you have to find a solution for it, whether it's just because you create a certain product or you offer a certain service, and yes, you are meeting the need or you're solving the problem for that particular demographic or whoever your ideal client or customer is. Other problems arise in your business. And when they arise, can you think on your feet and be able to find solutions to those issues and to those problems? That's why you have to have perseverance and resiliency in order to sustain yourself and keep going in business, okay? Because you're the only one, especially if you running a business where you don't have any employees or whatever. You have to be willing to come up with solutions and solve problems on your own, okay? That's just the way it is. All right. Don't rely. You can't rely on anyone else. And if you're the type of person, when something goes wrong at your job or something happens, you quick to go run to your supervisor, your manager, or someone else to come and fix it, chances are you're not going to do well as an entrepreneur, because you don't have those problem solving skills, or you're not willing to develop those problem solving skills. Okay. And once again, I'm going to use my office as an example. So I told you my office, it focuses on kids. The problem that I had, or the problem that I saw, is that there were kids that I would see that were getting overlooked who could benefit from vision therapy. These kids were struggling in school. They were struggling with reading and learning. They were being labeled, or what I like to say, they were being mislabeled as having ADD, ADHD, dyslexia, and things of that nature, when really all they had was a vision problem. So I saw the problem, found a solution, created my office in order to address their needs and address their problems. Okay. And now, like I shared earlier, now doctors are sending kids to me or referring kids to me, because I'm known as the doctor who will see all the kids or whatever, because they don't have the patience, and they don't want to be bothered with the little ones or whatever. Little do they know, some of them are easier than the adults, and we just have a good old time. So find the problem and find a solution, and not just any solution. You need to find a great solution to the problem so that it meets your customer or your client's need. Okay. So focus on the problem, be a problem solver if you want to be an entrepreneur. Okay. Now, that goes with the next thing I have. In order to solve problems, you have to be a lifelong learner. You have to always be willing to learn. Just like I shared earlier, like I'm never really off from my business, no matter what I'm doing. Watching TV, listening to something, listening to podcasts, listening to audiobooks, whatever. I am always trying to learn. I'm always trying to glean. I'm always trying to see, how can I apply this? How can I take this? How can this concept, how can this be used in my business? And if it can't be used in my business, how can it be used so that I can be a better person? Or how can I learn the lesson from this particular individual or from this particular situation? So you have to be a lifelong learner. And when problems arise, because you're a lifelong learner, you're not afraid to try something new. You're not afraid to try to learn a new skill. You're not afraid of knowing that you don't know something and being willing to learn it because you don't know. So that's another thing. Some people like to pretend like they know. I'm about to cuss. Some people like to pretend like they know stuff, but they really don't know stuff. You can't be like that. You have to admit what you don't know. And then you have to be, once you admit what you don't know, you have to be willing to learn about it, or defer to someone else or something like that. So if you don't have, the necessary skills, okay? And if you don't want to invest the necessary skills, but be willing to learn. And I always say, I can learn from anyone of any age, okay? So always be a lifelong learner, always be willing to learn, all right? The sixth thing I have is you must have resiliency. What I mean by that is there are going to be, I've shared with you guys, I've ran into so many obstacles in my business. So you're going to have so many failures or issues that arise, I should say, in your business, but you have to be resilient. Imagine if I would have given up, but they told me, oh, no, we can't fund you. We can't give you funding for your loan. Imagine if I would have stopped there and been like, hey, well, then I guess I can't open up my business. All right. What if I would have stopped there? Or imagine if I stopped when I couldn't find a space, or when the space that I wanted got leased out to someone else and I missed out on that opportunity. And then the other space I wanted, it also got leased out. Imagine if I stopped there. Okay. Imagine if I stopped there. You can't. You have to be resilient. You have to keep going. And it goes back to the first and the second point I made. You have to have that mindset shift, and you have to have that crazy belief in yourself that it's going, like what's the saying that Nehemiah Davis says, it's either it's going to work or it's going to work. Like there's no other options. I got to make it work. I got to make it happen. I'm going to make it do what it do, no matter what. Okay. So you have to have resiliency. The other thing when it comes to having resiliency, you also have to have a mental resiliency as well as mental stability, because entrepreneurship will take a toll on you mentally as well. And what do I mean by that? So I'm talking about mentally when it comes to just all the things that I'm thinking about, which is why with my side hustle as a notary, I say I like doing that because it gives me a mental break. And I always say it's not to say that as a notary you don't need to think, or that it's so easy that you don't need to think. But given the amount of things I have to think about in my business, not only am I being a doctor, I have to be, as an entrepreneur, I got to make sure things are running smoothly. I got to take care of administrative stuff. I also have to see the patients. I have to deal with staff and all that kind of stuff. It takes a mental toll on you. So me doing the notary work, it's like easy to me because I'm not thinking about 11 things like I would be thinking about when I'm running my office. So you have to have that mental resiliency as well as mental stability. And what I also mean when it comes to mental stability is that the emotional toll it takes on you, the emotional toll it takes on you mentally can affect you. That's why there are people who are running businesses, and just because there's a lot of stress that comes with it, that can affect you mentally. So you have to have a good mental foundation. Keep yourself encouraged, get therapy, all that kind of stuff, so that you can still persevere and that you can keep going in order to sustain your business. So you have to have resiliency to persevere as well as having that mental resiliency when things get challenging and when things get hard and when they start taking a toll on your mental health. Okay, because that ain't nothing to play with. Okay, so you have to have resiliency in that regard. The other thing, now this was a lesson that I had to learn, that I'm still kind of learning, because this is not really me. This is not my natural inclination. Okay, if you are running a business side hustle where you are attracting the clients, you are attracting your customers, then you have to have some kind of sales skills or be some type of salesperson. You got to be, sales, have some kind of skills when it comes to sales, because essentially you are the brand, you are the marketer, and you, like I said, you are the one attracting your customer and you are attracting your client. So if you are not willing to ask for the sale, if you are too shy and don't want to ask people to spend money, if you are too shy and don't want to put value on your product or your service, then your business is not going to be successful. So you have to have some sales skills and know how to present your product or service in a manner that people want to buy and they want to support, and they feel like they could definitely benefit from it. Now, this also ties into knowing like your self-worth. Now, we talked about that in the other video, so check that one out so you can see that or whatever. But you have to be a salesperson. And I say I had to learn that because I'm like, I don't want to be selling. I don't even like selling to people. But I realized, girl, if you want this business to do well, you better learn how to sell, okay? And you better learn some sales skills and some sales strategies and put it to work and make it do what it do, because we ain't here just to be looking cute. We gotta make some money, all right? So you have to have some sales skills and have some sales savviness, okay, when it comes to that. So you can't be shy, you can't be timid. You got to go out there and get your money, all right? And the last and final thing I'm going to share with you guys, because yeah, I'm already going too long, is you must be able or must be willing to face failure. Okay? Y'all heard me say this. It's not a loss, it's only a lesson, okay? It's not a loss, it's just a lesson. So, failures are going to arise. How you bounce back from that, how you pivot from that, how you deal with that, how you address that, that is going to speak volumes to you in terms of how your business is going to be successful. If you let every failure, if you let every setback get you down. Now, that's not to say, it's not to be upset about it, not to be hurt by it. That's not to say that or anything like that, because it still bothers you. It still will hurt. You can still be disappointed, but you just can't stay there. You can't stay there and still have a successful business. You can't stay there. You can't wallow in all the failures and stuff and all the misfortunes that might be coming your way. You have to be able to bounce back and still go on and still pursue the mission that is at hand so that your business can be successful. Okay. So I hope this encouraged you guys. And I hope it helps you to take a good look at yourself and see, do I have what it takes in order to be an entrepreneur? And if you don't have what it takes, are you willing to get the skills to be an entrepreneur? And only you can answer that question. And it's just yes or no. And there's no right or wrong answer, because like I said, entrepreneurship is not for everyone. So if you, after I went through all of this and you like, yeah, I'm just an entrepreneur, I can't be no entrepreneur because this is just too much, then that's fine. Because either way, you can make money. You can make money as an entrepreneur. You can make money as an employee. Both ways you can make money. So there's no right or wrong answer. But I want people to enter into entrepreneurship with a realistic view of what it takes, the dedication that is needed, the commitment that is needed, as well as prepare you for the things, the obstacles, and the challenges that may present themselves. And so that it doesn't catch you off guard, so it doesn't take you by surprise, and so that you're better prepared and better equipped to handle those things when they arise. Okay. So I truly, truly, truly hope that this encourages you to go after and pursue your dreams if entrepreneurship is what you want to pursue. Okay. Real quick, I'm gonna do a recap of there were 8 things that I shared with you guys. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you must have a mindset shift. You must have crazy belief in yourself. You must have good time management. You have to focus on the problem and find a solution for it. The 5th thing was you have to be a lifelong learner. 6 was you have to have resiliency. 7, you have to be willing to sell. And then the 8th thing is you must be able to face failure without fear. Okay. All right. So that's all I have for now. I will be back next week. You can be on the lookout I'll have some shorts videos coming out as well. This week or whatever. So just be on the lookout for that. And as always, I forgot, y'all. Thank y'all so much for subscribing to my channel. If you have enjoyed the video, please be sure to like the video. Especially on YouTube. Be sure to like it, share it with a friend or someone who you think can benefit from it. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you're seeing this and you have made it this far, please go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you as part of the Gold Digger family. And thank you to everyone who has helped me to reach 5,000 subscribers. All right. Take care, everyone.